Life is filled with conflict. Imagine two toddlers playing in a sandbox. Both of them want the same toy, and there can be hitting or biting or crying as the conflict unfolds. There is research that shows that spouses often have conflict over differing views on how to spend or save money. Adult children may have conflict over how best to support their aging parents. You and your friend may have conflict because she always insists on choosing the movie, and you don't feel like you have a voice in that process. You may consider engaging in a conflict with the driver who cuts you off, forcing you to slam on your brakes. We have very serious threats of conflict internationally. And the list goes on. This is life, full of conflict. Because we are not robots, we each have individual needs, wants, and desires that may, and often do, conflict directly with another person. This is inevitable. Be graciously doubtful when someone says that their friendship, their marriage, their family, their school building is without conflict. Perhaps conflict is handled appropriately and well, but conflict still exists. Let's talk about two particular circumstances that cause conflict: perceptions and cultural differences. First, perceptions. We have all heard about a car accident where one witness says the light was red at the time of the collision. Another says the light was yellow, the third says the light was green, and another witness says it was a stop sign, not a light. Obviously, everyone can't be correct. But assuming they are each being truthful, they are reporting facts as they believe them to be from their vantage point at a particular point in time. A whole host of facts influence their perception of the accident, including where they were located at the time of the accident occurred, visibility, whether they were distracted, how well they see, among other things. Conflict frequently arises because one person perceives a situation to be much different than another. This quote says it all. While perceptions might not be the ultimate truth, they are what people use to make decisions. People use their perceptions, not necessarily the facts, to make up their minds. This means that in order to resolve conflict effectively, you need to understand your perception of the conflict in addition to the other person's perception. Why is it that we can all look at the same thing yet perceive something different? Another cause of conflict can be cultural differences. Often when we hear the word culture, we think it means racial or ethnic differences, and it can. But we define cultural differences very broadly in this training. We once heard a principal describe culture as how we do things around here, and that is a definition that really works well here. Culture is everywhere. We all have our own culture, and those differences in culture can lead to conflict. Think about different family cultures. Your extended family may get together for every holiday, religious event, graduation, and funeral. Other families don't. Your parenting style, and thus the culture of your immediate family, may be very different from your best friend's parenting style and family culture. Schools have unique cultures. When we go into buildings for our presentations, we sense a culture as soon as we enter the front office. Sometimes we're directed where to go by a finger point. Other times we are escorted to the training location and told where the restrooms, coffee, and water fountains are located, and everything in between. We see differences at due process hearings. Some schools provide coffee and water or even candy for the due process participants. Some don't. Neither is right or wrong, just different. The point is that each school, each building, each educational setting has its own culture, and it is near impossible to have a culture that will work for all the people all the time, which means that conflict can result.